The reason I think Zen and Ana are really nice is because you have such a good overview of how the fights are progressing in the current state of the game. Whereas if you're a main tank player and you're at the very, very front, I think it's just nice to go from playing at the very, very front to playing at the very, very back. And you just have a complete different perspective and view on what's happening. And it's really insightful as well.
One shot. I'll show them. One kill.
Bob reported.
I do not think cyborgs are welcomed with open arms in Junker Town.
Attack.
You have one tank.
30 seconds.
What you're doing is good, which is something I recommend to people, is in the time before a game is starting, use that to warm up. You don't have to necessarily line up on a player. You can literally pick, on a map like this, for example, you can snap to, you know, that grating in the wall, or you can snap to particular edges or corners. Warm up your aim while you're waiting. You know the Mei is to the left, so you can put pressure on the Mei. You've got an Orb of Discord on you, so use the payload and crouch down. Stay close to the payload, otherwise you're going to get shot. Why are you trying to heal your Widow in spawn? Focus on your tank. It's always risky for you to look behind you like that, because then you have no idea what the enemies are doing or where they are. You can look to... Okay, Arista's shield is quite easy to get a nade around, because you can just throw it to the left or right of the shield, slightly beyond the shield. Also, payload is probably going to be your duty as Ana most of the time. You wasted that sleep. See, rather than trying to sleep a moving target, you could just wait until he pile drivers and then sleep him.
Oh, I didn't even realize he blade. I had no thank you for that.
Yeah, I didn't hear it either. While you're scoped in, that's also when you want to be really focusing and on what you're hearing. Because if you have Dolby Atmos turned on, you can tell exactly where a target is in relation to you by what you're hearing. And you can play if you ever want to play aggressive onto someone like a contester. Sorry. If you ever want to play really aggressive on, you know, for example, an Orisa, just go forward, sleep, nade. If she's trying to buy time. Same with a Mei. So if you land that nade onto the Mei, she has much less contesting power.
Take your time, Ominous. If I may weigh in, when you're trying to sip someone, take your time.
Oh, right. Yeah. I forgot that, like, it literally pulls your crosshair upwards when power goes.
Like if you actually take the time to aim properly, you cannot miss a Hammond, my guy.
Sleep it, and then you can nade it. You didn't nade it. Nade it. There you go.
I feel like that was a waste though. Like, we were gonna.
He went for the mega.
Yeah, but that just means he feeds more. It's like the 3v1 against him.
It takes more time off your clock. You don't want him to be getting more time from you. That's the job of Hammond and tanks in general, is they're looking to buy time for their team.
Oh, we killed him out of ult. Cool.
Almost, do you need us, or do you want to play just within being pushed?
No, I want to play with you guys because
then he doesn't have to play with the randoms, and he can have a main tank, an off tank, an off healer.
Zelda will play main tank.
The more the better, basically. And don't be afraid to nade yourself. It's better that you don't die, because if you die, you're providing
Dominus,
nothing.
hit that Genji!
Dude, I know.
Nade yourself, you're 33 health. Yes,
Yeah.
using nade on yourself is not, you know, optimal, but if you're dead, you're providing 0 healing, 0 sleeps, and 0 nades to your team.
Yeah, exactly. Take your time, Ominous.
You don't need to do big, like, flicks either. Move towards the health kit, move towards the health kit to your right. You're looking to anti the Mei or anti the Hammond. That nade should have hit you as well.
Yeah, I'm at the ground.
Yeah, stop throwing it at people like a Pokeball and try and throw it close enough to you that it always hits you when you're being 1v1'd.
Much better than a cabana on the beach.
But
So you can sleep that target. Sleep nade is normally your best order for things.
yeah.
Old soldiers.
I'm still waiting for. I've been holding Nano for ages for this Genji.
But sometimes you'll figure out that holding Nano for Genji is not always the best option.
But
Yeah.
Genji's had Blade for ages. That's the thing.
What he might
It's
be
like-
waiting
it's
for
not
is
like he
you to
hasn't.
nano him. Sleep the Hammond, sleep the Hammond, sleep the Hammond. And then shoot.
Nade.
So when you're gonna nade a sleeping target, you shoot, then you nade. At the same time. Because if you nade, they wake up. If you shoot nade, then you put in an extra 75 damage into them. Don't wake her up. She's not your job.
Am I sleeping
Get
right
ready
side?
to nade. Yeah, there you go. Don't try and 1v1 a mate. That's a very bad idea. Very bad idea. Keep your distance. You also missed nanoing your Genji.
I don't hear it. It's really
Keep the
weird.
ship on the buff, take your time. Nice.
Now, get ready. Like, save your nade if you need to nade yourself. You literally stood in front of a bob and just took a full bob. So yeah, this is a big improvement because you've now got a main tank to focus on.
Yay!
And
that's
every
not
time he
cool.
dies, it's...
Oh my god, we got a team.
If he dies and it was possible for you to heal him, then it's your fault.
Watch out for junk on top.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what you were trying, like you were expecting. By the way, if you nade a target that your tanks are diving in on, that's very, very useful for you to do.
Being dived to that.
Go to the Mega.
Yeah, I had to. I'm not gonna jump.
Get the Mega. There you go.
Yeah, I'm a bit.
And... yeah, your Hondo died. Throw a nade in.
I had bubble!
Standing still.
Because like, my bubble was like half a second away from cooldown.
Oh, you're not weak.
You want to be throwing nades into anti much, much more. Throw in anti-nades. There you go.
Missed though.
It's fine.
Right.
It's because you miss every nade that you don't throw. And by throwing them, you'll get better.
Guy's an idiot.
Go towards the payload. Towards the payload. There you go. Your tanks are your priority. You can sleep the Rhine if you want. No. You've got nano. There you go.
Massive.
Now you can nade the target that your Winston is on.
Oh my god. I don't
Bad.
know why I
Nade yourself, nade yourself. You panic sleeped.
I
Bob
did.
gives you no ult charge. He's a waste of your time.
There's a Rhine on high ground.
Are you gonna try and 1v1 a Rhine?
Yeah.
Did you know that he was one?
Yeah.
I didn't see health bar, so.
Well, I didn't see he was 1, but I knew he was going to be at least 2 shot. Because you can see the damage that he took in the, like, during the fight.
You can throw a nade in.
And the fact that he was playing so passively implies that he's weak. Oh.
You should be throwing nades in a lot more, because if you land a nade on a target that your team is currently diving in on, they normally win that engagement. There you go, that's better.
Anderson.
And it forces their positioning. You should be on payload. Nade the brig, nade the brig, nade the brig. There you go. Payload. That Widow is not your job. Your Zen can put a harmony on her.
Oof.
See, your Winston is your job.
That was a god combo.
I'm not gonna lie, I messed up my jump pretty bad.
No one can hide from my
It's a lot easier for your Zen to turn around and just throw a harmony orb onto a Widow than it is for you to turn around, try and get the sight lines, line up the shot, and then shoot that Widow. Reload. Reload.
Oh, yeah.
You need to be reloading a lot more often. Like, you could reload now. Reload. Reload. It's a very quick reload animation, so you always want to be full ammo at the start of fights. Reload.
Mercy, I'm mercy.
You can throw a nade in here. Big nade, big nade, big nade. You hit nothing. Sleep something. Sleep.
Brand's gonna shatter.
He hasn't got shatter.
Oh.
Nade. Missed your nade again.
I didn't have to. Okay.
You can focus the Orisa. You can nade yourself and a target. Nade yourself and a target. Bob gives you no ult charge. Stop wasting shots on him.
Thank you.
Did you see what I did there? On purpose, I took
Nade in, nade in,
the-
nade, 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 nade. Took you way too long. Payload.
Yeah.
You should almost always be on payload.
Well, we have a Zen, so the Zen should be also.
Yeah, so if your Zen isn't on payload, you should be.
Cute.
Payload, stay on payload. Wasted nade. Payload. You've got 2 shields there. Don't waste your sleep into a shield. Nade beside a shield to anti a target. There you go. That was... yeah. You should have gone for the longer distance, where the bulk of their team is. You need to keep your Winston alive.
I can't move behind shield.
You need to keep your Winston alive. And you can go within a distance that you can nade yourself and the team.
Very, 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 very.
If you heal buff all of your team at once, that's huge. So save the nano for when a target is low.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing for Winston right now.
Oh, get fucked. Sorry.
Language. That was really weird because you kind of moved your cursor away from the target before you then moved it to the target.
You're, yeah, I was thinking that you're aiming on Anna is kind of weird. I don't know.
I tend to like flick shot. I find that I'm more consistent at flicking shots than tracking shots.